Hello guys, and welcome to another lap time challenge video. In this video I'm going to show you the combo of the Honda NSX Type R on this Interlagos circuit. As you can see, first place at the moment is a 146.758, a very good lap from Adam, to be honest. As you can see, I'm third with a 146.883, just over a tenth off first place of Adam, who's in my opinion done a good lap. As you can see, I've done about 220 mils for this because I was on a 147.0 for quite a while and I didn't want to stop until I got a 46, and I ended with a 46.8, which I'm very happy with. I don't think I can go much faster than that, to be honest. Even if I put all my effort in, I maybe got a tenth max in me. But anyway, as you can see in the car settings, in the ECU section, you can see that the peak power is around 8,100 RPM. Or if you go to transmission, it says 8,000 RPM. I tend to have it a little bit past 8,000 RPM because, as you can see, after this peak power, there's still quite a bit of power left, and it doesn't have much power in the lower rev, so I do tend to rev this car a bit. But anyway, I'm going to show you my fastest lap followed by the detailed lap time after. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you very much. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed that solid lap from me. Now I'm going to show you how I've just done that 46.8. So the key word that I would say for this is throttle application. Just because this car likes to slide quite a bit in second and third gear, especially in the higher revs and mid revs from the slow speed corners. So you got to be a bit careful on exits and a bit careful on your steering inputs. But anyway, I'm changing gears from second to third around 71, 72 mile an hour, and from third to fourth around 100, 101 mile an hour. And to start the lap, I changed from fourth to fifth, 136 mile an hour. But at the end of the lap, you want to stay in fourth gear. But as you can see right now, I am in fifth gear. I've just changed from fifth, from around 130 or 136 mile an hour. Anyway, first corner. See this 150 board, we go past it. See this 100 board, we literally break a car length, I'd say. A car length before the 100 barrier. So as you can see, I've already tapped the brakes. I'm about a car length between the 100th board and where I am now. So I break a car length before it. Maybe slightly more than a car length and a half max, I would say though. Because you don't want to brake late because it will ruin your momentum for the next 2 corners. 2 corners, I should say. And if you brake early, you might turn early and you might have a bit of oversteer going over a bumpy part of the curb. So try brake a car length before the 100 board here. Try stay towards the outside, but I say as soon as I went down second, I started to turn into the actual corner. Try have your whole car basically on the curb but try not to go on the grass. So like that, you want your car to be like that basically. You want your right wheels to be basically on the right line. I was aiming to be about 50 miles an hour on this apex here. So try to stay quite a bit to the left. I'd say even more left than to the right. So I was about 70% to the left here, just to open up the next part of this section a lot, so I could be a bit aggressive on the throttle and turning, etc., and carry more speed and momentum. So for this next part, you'll see me as I basically max out the second revs and go to third gear. That is basically the speed you want to take this next corner. So you want to take it about 71 miles an hour for this next right part of the SNRS. Try to have your left wheels minimize the distance. So basically try to have your left wheels basically on this tiny part of the curb as possible. But if you try to cut it too much, sometimes your car will stop steering just because your car slightly bottoms out. So that's why I tend to like a late turning for this corner, because you don't bottom out as much from my experience. And another thing, you carry more speed and momentum. And another thing, I find it a bit more consistent, and you tend to have a little bit less oversteer. So like I said, take this part about 70 miles an hour. I don't like to use the whole exit here because I like to open up the next bit here. So as like for example Group 3 cars, you want to be on this outside curb at this point right now, because that car will have enough downforce to stay this bit flat and not have too much steering input still. But we are in a road car here, we're in an NSX Type R, like I said. This car doesn't have as much grip because one, we're on sports hard tires, and two, it doesn't have like the big rear wings and front splitters, etc. So I tend to have a car width to the right of the curb, just so I can keep this section flat. You will have a little bit of a slide / oversteer, but if you're careful with your steering inputs, you should still easily be able to take it flat. So basically, as I got to this curb, you'll see me start to steer it a bit less, because I felt when I had my car half my car on this curb, I oversteered and I lost momentum. So try to have about a quarter of your car on this curb. But as you touch the curb, especially as your left wheels goes over this like little line bit of a curb, you will oversteer a bit and you will slide. So try to minimize your steering. As my car felt settled, I started to put a bit more steering in just to keep it on the track limit basically. Use all this outside curb just so you'd have to put more steering angle in, and you can carry more momentum and speed to, well, basically minimize steering, carry more speed, and minimize time basically. You're gaining time using this much track. Next corner. See this underboard, we go just past it. I brake about half a car length out of this tree on the right here. So about here, that's where I'm braking. About 130 meters, I would like to say, from here. That is my rough estimate, 135 meters. I'll brake half a car length to a car length after the tree on the right, like I said. I stay in third. I think the top times might downshift to second and quickly upshift to third, just to try and get more rotation on that. I felt more comfortable just staying in third gear and letting the car roll into the corner. I was aiming to be about 63, 64 miles an hour on the apex here. And you want to be about this much on the curb here. So basically you want your right wheels just to stay off the curb, because I felt if I had more of my left tyres on this curb, I slightly bottomed out and understeered wide. So you want to try have your right wheels on this right line like I am here, just to carry more speed on the apex and more exit speed. So like I said, I was carrying about 63, 64 miles an hour on this corner. Since the corner is quite wide on the exit, go on the throttle early, especially since you're low in third gear. Next corner. See this underboard? I'll go past it. I brake about 80 meters here, so I brake about 2 car lengths after it. 2.5 car lengths after, I'd say. I'll brake about 80 meters anyway. So you'll see as I downshift to third, I am trail braking already because I've started to turn in already. You want to turn in early because you want to have your right wheels on this You can't really see at the moment, but you want your right wheels to aim for this inside curb, since it'll drag your car a bit towards the apex. Well, slash, it basically slides your car a little bit, so you can carry more momentum and speed. If you miss the inside curb, you will just understeer a bit wide, and it'll cost you a tenth or two. So you'll see, as I downshift to third, you'll see me already steer and show brake. Like I said, this curb, you want your right wheels on this curb, just to minimise on your steer, basically. I was aiming to be about 75 mile an hour here, and for this part, about 81 mile an hour, and I stayed 80% throttle here, because any more throttle I put in, my car just oversteered. So I gradually picked up the speed and momentum by just staying 80% throttle. Might take you a few attempts to do this, just do a few laps, get used to it. And have your whole car on this outer curb here without touching the outside the curb, because I felt as I touched outside this curb, my car understeered under braking, and I'll just miss the apex for the next corner. So try to have your whole car on this curb like this. And as you can see right now, my brake light's already on. That's because I'm braking as I see this darker line here. That is my braking input for this next corner. So I'm about 90 miles an hour at this point. Basically, as soon as I saw 90, I broke. All this dark line, as I approached it, I started to brake. Try to have your whole car on this inside curb again without touching the grass as well. So like this, that is about perfect. And I was aiming to be about 43, 44 mile an hour here. I went on the throttle a bit late because I don't want to be too far to the left, so I could open up this next part of the corner here. So I stayed about 50% to the left, 50% to the right. And I broke just a little tap of the brakes. I broke a bit as I got to this inside curb here. Braking a straight line and trail brake. So I was about 16 miles an hour at this point, so when I started braking. And I slowed down to about 47, 48 miles an hour. Try to get your left wheels on this part of the curb. I felt as I got on this part of the curb, my car oversteered. So try to have your left tyres on this little part of the curb here. And try to stay close to it because it's a bit cambered. As you can see, as the track sort of gets more cambered, / more downhill, that's when I get on my foot. That's when I put my throttle input down. Initially don't go 100% throttle because you'll oversteer if you go 100% full. I went about 80% throttle as you can see on the screen right now, and as I went to about 52 miles an hour, that is when I started to put full throttle input in. You saw the exit curb again. Have all your car have your whole of the car on this exit curb. I turned a bit to the left here just to open up this hairpin. Try to line it up so your left tyres is just about to go onto this right line, but not quite, like you touch the grass. And I brake, as you can see, this green Astro, I literally braked on it like that. That is my braking reference for this next corner. So like I said, try to have your car aimed to the left side of the track in a straight line. So you're braking in a straight line, and you have the angle to carry speed and momentum into this hairpin. Quite an important corner since it's a very slow corner and you'll oversteer if you do it wrong. So I downshift to first just to get more rotation, and I'm aiming to be about 39 miles an hour as I get to the apex part of this corner. It's about halfway through the corner. As I got there, you see I already upshifted second, I'm already on the throttle just to gradually pick up the speed. I'm initially about 60-70% throttle input, just like I said, to gradually pick up the speed, and I'll have too much oversteer on the exit, because if you oversteer a bit on this exit, you'll lose a tenth instantly. So I had a little oversteer here, but since I was very early in the throttle, I got away with it a bit. I probably lost about half a tenth here. I tried to aim to have my right tyres around this dark line here. That is when I started to turn in for this corner. Try to have your left wheel stay like between this line bit of the curb here and the outer curb here. Try to aim your left wheel to be on this first part of the curb here. And I did this first apex part about 81 miles an hour, and I hit the second part of the curb about 84 miles an hour, as you'll see now. So about here, I'm about 84 miles an hour, and I'm already on the throttle. Since it's a cambered corner and it's a wide exit, you want to be on the throttle extremely early. You will slide a bit potentially, but since you're putting the throttle down, you should be okay. Try use the whole exit curb here without touching the Astro as well. So as you can see, we've just gone off the curb now. I say about a car length after it. So when I hit the rev limiter and I saw about 101 mile an hour, that is when I broke for this last corner, or this last significant corner. I broke about a car length after the exit curb. So initially braking a straight line, as soon as I saw the end of this grass / Astro bit here, that's when I started to turn left and downshifted to second. I was aiming to be about 52, 53, 54 mile an hour for the apex of the last corner. Let it roll in, because if you go on the throttle early, you'll oversteer. If you brake early, your car will wobble as it touches the grass. So you need to be very precise on your turning and braking for this corner. Probably the most difficult corner in my opinion. So try to have your left wheels on this curb and try to use all the exit curb without touching the grass. About like that. That's about perfect if you ask me. I have about 60% throttle input as you can see now. Just keep the car settled and just to gradually pick up the speed like I said. But as soon as I got off the curb, you'll see me go back on the full throttle, and well, just for momentum's sake, since this is a long flat section, it's a long flat section to the finish line, so you need to be very early on the power and try to minimize oversteer. Use all the exit curb, hug the inside to minimize track distance, open it up a bit just so you can take this next part with little steering still and not lose speed putting too much steering in, and just minimize distance here. And that is a 46.883. Like I said, staying fourth to finish the lap because it's quicker. 46.883. I am extremely happy with this lap since Interlagos is not the best controller it's not the best controller track, sorry, and it's not my best track in general either. So I'm really happy with this lap. I do think a top driver will get to 0.5 area though, so hopefully I should be around the top 10, top 15 throughout this event, so you'll see me on the leaderboard or near the top of the leaderboard, just so you can see my replay, loads of ghosts of me, etc. But anyway, 146.883, really happy with this lap. If this has helped, and if you enjoyed, don't forget to like and sub. Leave any comments asking about a corner you're struggling at, and I'll answer to the best of my ability, as always. And yeah, I'll show you how to get to this end. Sorry, I'm stuttering. I'll show you how to get to this event and to see a replay of my lap and to load a ghost of my lap time up so you can follow it, just to give you rough braking reference and that. So, cheers. Alright guys, one way to see a replay of my lap I just shown, go to showcase on bottom left of the home section. Go to content search, make sure you're on content type replays. If you're on your NSX, select the car. Then just type in my name for the easiest way to find it. But I've also tagged it with NSX and lap time challenge, as you can see here. It will say my lap time of a 146.883. And if you don't want to lose it, just add it to collection. It'll be in your collection over here. To get to the event as well, sport mode in the top right. Make sure we are in the online time trials, and it is this one here, the Autodromo de Interlagos in this NSX Type R. Select your car, like I have it currently. Another way to my replay is just go to my name. I should be top 15, top 20 for every event. Play my replay until load of. Well, this is how you get into the event. Make sure you enter. And it's on sports hard tyres, the perfect tyres for this car in my opinion. Anyway, to load a ghost, you'd go to my ranking board. If you've got me on my phone, so I should be near the top. But global ranking, I should be top 15, top 20, like I said. Load my ghost. Go to ghost settings. Make sure, if you were to use my ghost, I would recommend turning your own ghost off and just keeping mine on. And have it reset after each sector. And I'll probably have it 2 or 3 times ahead after each sector. So this on means my ghost will reset after each sector, so it would reset here and of course at the start of the lap. If you had that button off, it would just reset at the start of the lap over here. So I hope you enjoyed. Like and sub, I do appreciate it, for more of these time trial guides and some race videos every now and then. And I hope you enjoyed. Cheers. Really happy with this lap. Goodbye.